Welcome, my friends, to the PMP exam mindset mantra. This is where I sensitize you to how to think on the exam. To think on the exam, you need to be aware of the big buckets of people, process, and business. We're going to start with people. For your exam, you got to be familiar with this terminology. You got to know what they mean. You folks are in business, so you probably already know what these mean, but we have team, customer, product owner, sponsor, stakeholders, program manager, portfolio manager, steering committee, functional heads. The program manager manages multiple interrelated projects. The portfolio manager manages all the work under a business unit or firm. The steering committee, group of people who steer the project in the right direction, the portfolio, the program in the right direction, and then we have functional heads. So this is something you need to be aware of for the exam. Let's go into the first of the 12, because I have 12 mantras. The first mantra is make your customer success a primary goal. Be obsessed with your customer's success. The second one states, focus on stakeholder and team health. Someone says, Phil, what do you mean by team health? Well, don't you know your team's like an organism? If the team has been beaten up by management, if they've been abused as a result of maybe a project not going the way management wanted, that's horrible. The poor team is going to have to recover. So we need to be aware of team health, well-being, synergy. We need to focus on that. So as a Scrum Master, your primary job is team health and team well-being. The next mantra just says, do not abuse your position or title or be partial in your action. That's a no-brainer. Anyone could tell you that from the world of business. Now, that's not to say everyone obeys it, but that's what PMI wants us to think about for the exam. Don't abuse your title or position. Don't be partial. Someone says, well, I've got a really great resource working for me and I don't want to lose that person. So I'm not going to tell them about opportunities in the company. Uh-oh, that's an integrity problem. You shouldn't do that. You should let them know about what is available in the firm. So that is an abuse, being partial, letting certain people know about certain opportunities and others not. No, don't do that. The next one says advancement. Work with the customer to move the project forward. So a typical question on the exam is, the project manager encounters a problem. What should the project manager do next? And one of the answers that they'll give you, one of the options they'll give you is say no, refuse the change request. Just say no. No, you won't do that, because you should work with the customer to move things forward. Say no, we're not even going to consider it. It doesn't move the project forward. So always look for an option that moves the project forward. You will find these mantras are extremely helpful when you're deciding on which option to choose on the exam. Next one says team trust. Trust the team and their judgment. Allow them choose their way of working. So if on the exam you get a question that says, the team wants to use Zoom, but you feel that Zoom is garbage, what should you do? Still go ahead and let the team use what they want, Don't lord it over the team. Trust the team. The next one is honesty. Be honest and truthful in all your dealings, even if it may offend others. No brainer. The next one is fairness. Treat others fairly and have empathy. Be mindful and aware of diversity and inclusion. So a lot of times when we see diversity and inclusion, folks think we're just talking about race, religion, orientation. No. There's more to diversity than that. We have to think about diversity when it comes to the aspect of thinking. Some people just think differently. Some people need a wider, larger runway of thinking space. But when they come out with a solution, it's awesome. So we got to honor that. Next one is fairness. Treat others fairly. Have empathy. Be mindful and aware of diversity and inclusion. So all of these are rolled up in one: fairness, empathy, and diversity and inclusion. Next one, servant leader. Defend the team. We're not just talking about taking one for the team, but saying, hey, these folks have been working their tails off. No, don't do this to them. They've done their best. So you defend the team. You're also a diversion shield, and you facilitate conflict resolution. So you act as a servant. Next one, leadership. Be courageous to lead. Make tough decisions and have tough conversations. Make trade-offs. So trade-offs are like, well, we can't give you this, but we can give you that. We can't do it in 5 weeks. We can do it in 4 weeks. Or we can't do it in 4 weeks. We can do it in 5 weeks. We can't do 500 story points. We can do 400 story points, things like that. So have the tough conversations, make trade-offs. Next one, steward. Protect resources entrusted to you and treat them with care. You are a fiduciary. You are like a caretaker of those resources. The next one says mentor, coach, serve, and guide the team instead of using punishment and coercion. So one of the questions on the test could say, oh, this team member has been playing solitaire instead of working. What should you do? Fire them? No. You at least give them some leeway, right? You mentor, coach. I'll just say that on the exam, if you're ever given the option of firing, it's likely to be the wrong option. So we rely more on mentoring, coaching, serving, and guiding the team instead of using coercion and punishment. The next one is agility. It's the final one under people. Be agile. See all the arrows, many ways to take. You got to pivot in the right direction to be resilient. That's the general idea. And that's just the people piece. Again, it's a way of thinking. Here's the summary of the people mindset. Customer first, move things forward, be fair, you are a steward, focus on team health, trust the team, be a servant leader, mentor, coach, and serve. Don't use punishment. Have integrity, don't abuse your position, be honest in all your dealings, lead, be courageous, and be agile. And that's the people. I'm telling you, just having those mindsets, you'll be amazed at how much good it can do for you, just the mindset. All right, let's move on to the process piece. Here are the process words to be familiar with: knowledge areas, process groups, processes, formulas, methods, models, artifacts, theory, frameworks, practices. Be familiar with those words, be comfortable with those words. Let's take a look at the first mindset mantra: life cycle. You need to know the different types of life cycles, and I'm going to remind you about them right now. We have 4 major life cycles that we talk about in this world. The first one is known as a predictive life cycle. So you're going to hear the word predictive quite a lot. The next one is iterative. The next one is incremental. And the final one is agile. Predictive delivers one time. Iterative delivers one time. Incremental delivers multiple times. I think I messed up what I was doing. Multiple, let's put that over here. M for multiple. And the same thing for agile. Agile delivers multiple times. And these are your life cycles. Predictive is called plan driven. It's where we plan everything out and we just do it pretty linearly. Iterative is where we have a lot of feedback loops for prototyping, but we deliver once. Incremental is where we're delivering multiple times for simple things that may not need to be done, redone. And agile is for where we may have work that could be redone. So we repeat until correcting agile. We don't repeat until correcting incremental. We do it one time as a pass through, but we deliver the product multiple times. And agile, we deliver the product multiple times as well. We're going to be talking about this in more detail later on. This is on pages 18 to 19 of the Agile Practice Guide. Great page, great read as far as those 4 life cycle types. All right, so when we talk about life cycle, You need to know the life cycle. You got to be able to tailor the life cycle. You need to have insights as a project manager as to which one is the better life cycle to use. All right, let's put that in the chat just so that you've got that graphic where I jotted that down. And let's move on. The next one is all about change. And this says manage change and configuration with intentionality. In other words, be intentional. When you're going after change, have a blueprint for how change will be managed, know exactly what the process is, go after it. Configuration management is similar to change management, has some overlapping components, but configuration management is more about version control of documents or widgets. Doesn't always have to be documents. It could be widgets, it could be parts of a machine that needs to be version controlled. It could be an artifact of some sort. But the bottom line is we got to manage all manner of change, whether it's change to documents, change to plans, change to widgets, changes to drawings, like on a construction project. You can have version control so that you're not mixed up regarding the versions. All right, the next one says risk and governance. Proactively manage risk and governance. And that means having a game plan for how to do it. The next one says hybridize where necessary to maximize value and options. And hybridization just means you're combining the best of both worlds of predictive and agile to give you a unique way of managing your project. Next one, continuously inspect and adapt and integrate all levels and layers. So this is going to be a continuous thing. In the world of software development, everyone knows that if you're not integrating what you're building with what you built yesterday, you could get to the end of that iteration and have a rude shock when nothing syncs. So we encourage a regular integration in this world. Next one, logically plan and manage all knowledge areas. Makes sense. The next one, agile mindset, seek to deliver incrementally, plan iteratively where possible. So deliver in increments, plan in iterations. The next one is problem solve. Be a problem solver. Offer solutions and not problems. In other words, if you're on the exam and you get a question about solving a problem, make sure that you're really solving the problem. You know, saying I cannot do it is not solving the problem. So beware of options that say I cannot, or options that go crying to a sponsor or someone else. All right, the next one says buy-in or authorization. Seek authorization and buy-in where necessary. Next one, systemic or strategic. Think systematically and strategically to navigate complexity. Think about the big picture, think about the process, think about how everything interweaves. Think like that to navigate complexity. Next one says quality, the iron triangle. Proactively build in quality and manage the iron triangle. You know, the iron triangle is schedule, cost, and scope. You got to manage it because it's always trying to change on you. Last but not least, we have closing. Close each stage, iteration, or phase within a retrospective, with a retrospective or lesson learned. In other words, to close out a stage, have a lessons learned. To close out an iteration, have a retrospective. It's not to say that the language couldn't be mixed and you couldn't find some people, even in the world of plan-driven, saying they're doing retrospectives. It's not forbidden, but you generally find that language in Agile. Moving on to the final one of business. Business, the words to expect, outcomes, value, benefits, revenues, advantage, demand, cost of delay, revenue leakage, opportunity erosion, competition, compliance, organizational change, strategy, business. Let's take down these 12 one by one. Number one, observe and respond to the external environment. As a product owner, you absolutely need to be looking around. Hey, what's happening in the marketplace? What do we need to do next? So you need to have that intelligence about you. Next one, organization impact. Assess the organization's impact on the project. How will the organization impact the project? And then navigate accordingly. Compliance, proactively manage compliance. OSHA, SOX compliance, PCI compliance, Americans with Disability Act, whatever the compliance, you got to comply. Outcomes, focus on outcomes, value and benefits over output. Outcome is the overarching end of the story that happens after the project. So the outcome, did people use the software? No. Oh, well, we got done with a really cool software, but no one's using it. That's a poor outcome. So as a project manager, we want to focus on the outcomes, the value, and the benefits over the output. It's no longer about, oh, we got this software developed, but is anyone actually using it? Do they like it? Are they raving fans? Next one is benefits. Proactively ensure management of benefits and their realization. So two things: realize the benefits at the end of the project, make sure the benefits are realized. But in order to do that effectively, you should be managing the benefits by tracking them in a benefits register or a benefits management plan. So these words, they're very specific: benefits register, benefits management plan. That's a world of PMI. Next one, sustainable community. Harness communities of practice, COPs, PMOs, project management offices, and VDOs, value delivery offices, for the firm's strategic goals. Next one, organization change. Set the stage for organizational change and build alliances. Next one, value swap. In the world of Agile, we call it dynamic scope. You don't have to do exactly what you said in the beginning. You can swap out scope of comparable value. The next one is lean thinking. Think and be lean to eliminate waste at all levels of the value delivery system. The next one is project impact. Assess the project's impact on the organization and navigate accordingly. Next one is value delivery. Strategically plan the value delivery system. In other words, plan how projects, programs, and operations are going to interrelate. Finally, we have gating. Use toll gates, stage gates, kill points, and phase end reviews to deliver only value. So we've taken a look at the people summary. We've taken a look at process, and we're done with business. And those are the summaries as well. And I hope this helps you with your thinking for the PMP exam. This is exactly how I need you to think. This has helped students shorten the cycle time for answering questions on the exam, especially when they're running out of time. All right, my friends, I'll go ahead and stop the recording.